नित्यलप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तरशतशिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यलप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तरशतशिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यलप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तरशतशिशिमार भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यलप्रविष्टं विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तरशतशिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तरशतशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सार्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंग देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Oh, and I think today is Devananda Pandit's day, is it? Let me just check. Yeah, Shri Devananda Pandit ki jai. And also Srila Bhakti Prakash Aranya Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Studiya Shubhatirabhav Titi ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All right. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayanitti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratishe namaha. Gurave gaurachandraya radhikaya tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang Pravrajantamanupeta Krityang Dvaipayano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayatayat Taravo Bhinedustang Sarvabhuta Hridayang Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shrindvatang Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasto Yabhadrani Vidhunoti Suhritsatam Nashta Prayeshvabhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai vasmi, na jivami tvaya vina, iti vigyaya radhe tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, kshiptastakama ditaranga madhe, kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna, vrinde namaste charana ravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Gargaraj ji, Madhavi Didi, Ganga Mataji, and Raseshwari Mataji. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam. All right, so continuing our reading. Fourth city within the sea. Okay, so I'm just reading the summary. When Jarasandha prepared to attack Mathura for the 18th time, he already tried 17 times, the king of Yavans named Kalyavan also tried to attack Mathura with 30 million soldiers. Kalyavan had been searching for a worthy opponent, and Narad Muni told him to fight the Yadavas. Krishna was concerned about the simultaneous attack of two huge armies on the Yadavas. Krishna then constructed a wonderful city called Dwarka within the sea and moved all the Yadavas there by his mystic power. When Krishna went out of Mathura, then Krishna went out of Mathura unarmed. Seeing Krishna without weapons, Kalyavan put his own weapon aside and ran toward Krishna to fight with him. Krishna ran away from Kalyavan, yet stayed within his vision, barely beyond his grasp at every step. Kalyavan hurled insults at Krishna, calling him a coward for running away from an opponent. Isn't that when Krishna got the name? I think so, but if somebody knows for sure, you can confirm that. Eventually, Krishna led Kalyavan toward a mountain cave and entered it. Kalyavan followed Krishna and saw a man lying inside the cave. Thinking that it was Krishna lying there, Kalyavan kicked that man who had been sleeping for a very long time. Having been awakened so violently, that man looked at Kalyavan angrily, which made him burn to ashes within a moment. Thus, Krishna had Kalyavan killed by his devotee without personally doing it. This powerful person was Muchukunda, a son of King Mandatta. He had protected the demigods from the demons for many years. Eventually, the demigods obtained Kartikeya as their protector and allowed Muchukunda to retire, offering him the benediction of uninterrupted sleep, as desired by Muchukunda. After Kalyavan was burnt, Sri Krishna came before Muchukunda, who then offered prayers and asked for perpetual devotion unto him. Krishna granted his desire. Okay, so that's where we read up to yesterday. I wonder where Indira Mataji is. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So we ended with, we didn't get to the last verse. This is the last verse of the prayers by Muchukunda. Chiram iha vrijinarta, sorry. Chiram iha vrijinartas tapyamana nutapar avitrisha saramitro labda shanti katanchit. Oh, never mind. Sorry, let me try again. Chiramiha vrijinartas tapyamano nutapar avitrisha saramitro labdha shanti katanchit sharanada samupetas tvatpadabjam paratman abhayamritam ashokam pahi ma pannamisha. So Muchukunda, in the last verse of his prayers, he said, "For so long I have been pained by troubles in this world and have been burning with lamentation. My 6 enemies are never satiated, and I can find no peace. Therefore, O giver of shelter, O supreme soul, please protect me. O Lord, in the midst of danger, I have by good fortune approached your lotus feet, which are the truth, and which thus make one fearless and free from sorrow. Sārārtha-darśinī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. Sharing my screen. Yes, I am. Haribol, Manjari Didi. It's been a while since I've seen you here live. Haribol, Dandavat Pranam. And also Indira Mataji. Haribol. Okay, so. Oh, and Nitai. How could I forget Nitai? Pranams Nitai. Yeah, and Indira Mataji. Haribol. Okay, so commentary, Sārārtha by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. So Krishna is saying, potentially saying, go ahead and enjoy sense gratification, and when that is finished, I will personally give you the service of my feet. Fearing such enticement from Krishna, Muchukunda clasps the Lord's feet and offers this prayer. I have been pained by such disturbances as the eagerness of inimical opponents who wanted to defeat me in battle. Hari, Hari, I am burning with repentance. For all this time I have not worshipped you. There is no cessation of the desire for enjoyment of the 6 senses of eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin, and mind. Neither do I find any peace by my own intelligence, nor by the knowledge given by others. If sense gratification is given to me, even if you give it, I will again become entangled like this, because that is the nature of a material enjoyment. Therefore, do not give that enjoyment. Sorry, I made his voice a bit lower before. Let me try. O super soul, who resides in everyone and therefore knows everything, I have taken shelter of your lotus feet. The fear of enemies and disease come along with winning the treasures of the earth. The treasures of heaven include impermanence, and the treasure of merging in Brahman cheats one of the service of your lotus feet. The treasure of your feet, however, awards fearlessness, freedom from lamentation, and eternal life in your loving service. Therefore, please protect me who am afflicted with calamity, and keep me sheltered at your lotus feet. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sarvabhauma Maharaja Matiste Vimalorjita Varai Pralobhitasyapi Nakamar Vihatayata. The Supreme Lord said, O Emperor, great ruler, your mind is pure and potent. Though I enticed you with benedictions, your mind was not overcome by material desires. Commentary. Krishna said, your intelligence is strong, not moving here and there. Pralobhito vararyatvam apramadaya viditat nadhir ekanta bhaktanam ashirbhir bidhyate kvachit. Understand that I enticed you with benedictions just to prove that you would not be deceived. The intelligence of my unalloyed is never diverted by material blessings. Commentary. Krishna said, know that by offering you benedictions, I am showing other worshippers how you will not be bewildered by such things. Another meaning is, you will not be distracted because the intelligence of my devotee is never attracted to material enjoyment. Yunjanam abhaktanam pranayama dibirmana akshina vasanam rajan shyate punaruthitam. The minds of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayam are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, O king, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds. Commentary. Those who worship other objects are attracted to material enjoyment. That is illustrated in this verse. For the non-devotee jnanis and yogis practicing pranayam, sama, and dhamma, attraction to material enjoyment awakens again. Vicharasva mahim kamam maya veshitamanasa astvevam nityadatubhyam bhaktir mai anapayini. Wander this earth at will, with your minds fixed on me. May you always possess such unfailing devotion for me. Commentary. Krishna said, I have already given you pure bhakti, but today I am giving it to you again. Kshatra dharma stito jantun nyavadir mrigayadibi samahitas tatapasa jahyagamar upashrita. 1 second, guys. Somebody keeps on trying to call me again and again. Hare Krishna? আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ আমরা আমরা হ্যাঁ আমি জানি আমরা এখন ঠিক করছি তো এখন কাজ করে না কিন্তু আমরা ঠিক হবে ঠিক আছে হরে কৃষ্ণ হ্যাঁ ঠিক হবে হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ Sorry about that. I've been getting so many calls lately because just yesterday the Gaudiya Kirtan app stopped working and I put my number on the app. And so yeah, I've been getting tons of calls from Bengali devotees. It's kind of cool that it's getting so popular in Bengal. But anyways, okay. Because you followed the principles of a kshatriya, you killed living beings while hunting and performing other duties. You must vanquish the sins thus incurred by carefully executing penances while remaining surrendered to me. Commentary. Muchukunda thought, alas, alas, Krishna wants to separate me from his association from now on. This can't be. It just can't be. Noticing Mochukunda's great anxiety, Krishna thought as follows. In this incarnation, he should not associate with me directly. All the personal assistants in my pastimes have taken birth in Dwapar Yuga, such as Uddhav, Akrura, and Yudhishthir. Mochukunda, however, is extremely old, having taken birth at the very beginning of this Manvantar. When people see him, they will laugh and say, "Ah, who is this very tall and stout man who is such a poor match for the Lord?" Even now, during the pastime of fleeing from Jarasandha, as well as in later pastimes such as the kidnapping of Rukmini, it will not be at all fitting for this person to be associated with me while I'm fighting like the likes of Shalva and others. He will take these opponents of mine and crush them in his hands like mosquitoes. What excuse can I make up, therefore, to separate him from my association? He doesn't want to have a giant with him. After thinking like this, Krishna decided that the only means to accomplish this would be speak some false words in order to mislead Muchukunda. Thus he spoke this verse. That's so funny. Okay. Janmanyanantare rajan sarvabhuta suhrittama bhutva dvija varastam vai mam upaishaisi kevalam. O king, in your very next life, you will become an excellent Brahman, the greatest well-wisher of all creatures, and certainly come to me alone. Commentary. When will I become your associate? Krishna answers in this verse. After leaving this body, you will go to my abode on Vaikuntha. I give liberation and also residence in Vaikuntha, even to my enemies in this incarnation. So then, what to speak of an exalted devotee like you? In my pastimes in a future incarnation, you will associate me as an essential participant. In your very next birth, you will be the best friend of all living entities. At that time, you and I will act for their benefit by giving them transcendental knowledge as suits the circumstances. Becoming a universally respected and learned Brahman, you will attain me alone due to your lack of possessiveness and mood of renunciation. In other words, you will remain in my association. Thus ends the commentary on the 51st chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. Now we come to chapter 52, Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna. One second, just checking everything. Haribo Rukmini Didi Dandavat Pranam. Rukmini's message to Lord Krishna, the original Rukmini. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha Itam so na grahitonga. Sorry. Itam so na grahitonga. Oh God, what's wrong with me? Itam so na grahitonga. Sorry. Krishne nekshvakunandana. Tang parikramya sanyamya nishchakrama guha mukhat. Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, thus graced by Lord Krishna, Muchukunda circumambulated him and bowed down to him. Then Muchukunda, the beloved descendant of Ikshvaku, exited through the mouth of the cave." Commentary. This chapter describes how Krishna became invisible to his enemies, caused the mountains to be burned, and went to Dwarka. Krishna then heard the message of Rukmini from the mouth of a Brahmin and accepted her as his wife. Samviksha Kshulakan Martyan Pashun Virud Vanaspatin Matva Kali Yugam Praptam Jagadishamuttaram. Seeing that the size of all the human beings, animals, trees, and plants was severely reduced, and thus realizing that the age of Kali was at hand, Muchukunda left for the north. Commentary. Seeing that Kali Yuga had almost arrived, Muchukunda departed for the north. Tapashadayuto dhiro nisango mukta samshaya samadhaya mana krishne pravishar gandhamadanam. The sober king, beyond material association and free of doubt, was convinced of the value of austerity. Absorbing his mind in Lord Krishna, he came to the Gandhamadan mountain. Badarashramasadya naranarayanālayam sarvadvandva sahashantas tapasāradhayadharim. There he arrived at Badarikashram, the abode of Lord Narayan, where, remaining tolerant of dualities, he peacefully worships the Supreme Lord Hari by performing severe austerities. Bhagavan punaravrajya purim yavanam veshtitam hatva mlecha balang nin tadiyam dvarakam dhanam. The Lord returned to Mathura, which was still surrounded by Yavanas. Then he destroyed the army of barbarians and began taking their valuables to Dwarka. Commentary. Krishna annihilated the enemy army and then took the booty to Dwarka. Niyamane dhane gobir nrebhishchachutachodita ajagama jarasandas trayovingshatyanikapa. As the wealth was being carried by oxen and men under Lord Krishna's direction, Jarasandha appeared at the head of 23 armies. Vilokya vigarang bham prabhasam ripusainyasya madhavo manusha cheshtamappanno rajan dudruvatur drutam. O king, seeing the fierce waves of the enemy's army, The two Madhavs imitating the two Madhavs imitating human behavior ran swiftly away. Ran swiftly away. Oh, God. Sorry. Ran swiftly away. Commentary. Wow, that's interesting. Balaram's also called Madhav. Commentary. Behaving like human beings, Krishna and Balaram quickly fled upon seeing the great speed of the advancing enemy troops. Vihaya vitam prachuram abhito bhirubhitavat padbhyam palashabhyam wait padbhyam palashabhyam padbhyam palashabhyam whatever chelatur bahuyojanam. Abandoning the abundant riches, fearless but feigning fear, they went many yojanas on their lotus-like feet. Commentary. This verse describes the nature assuming the behavior of humans. This is not the ultimate siddhanta of Krishna Balaram's fleeing. Even though they exhibit human behavior, in many instances they exhibit their omniscience and omnipotence. Neither can the explanation be given that this was some immature display due to prem, since none of the associates were present there. Nor can it be explained that Krishna and Balaram were simply pretending to be afraid. Sri Uddhav describes the inconceivable nature of Sri Krishna in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.51.57. Karmanyani hasya bhavo bhavasyate durgashayotari bhayat palayanam kalatmano yat pramada yutashrama satman rate kidyati dhir vidam iha. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do, he nevertheless acts. Although he is always unborn, he nevertheless takes birth. Although he is time, fearful to everyone, he flees Mathura in fear of his army to take shelter of a fort. And although he is self-sufficient, he marries 16,000 women. Though situated in fearlessness, Krishna and Balaram decided to show fear by acting like fearful persons. This expresses a contradiction. Ayamanoto drishtva magada prahasan bali anvadhavar ratani kair ishayor apramanavit. When he saw them fleeing, powerful Jarasandha laughed loudly and then pursued them with charioteers and foot soldiers. He could not understand the exalted position of the two lords. Commentary. Jarasandha was unaware of their greatness, so he foolishly pursued Krishna and Balaram. Pradrutya duram sangshranto tungam aruhatam girim pravarshanakyam bhagavan nityada yatra varshati. Apparently exhausted after fleeing a long distance, the two lords climbed a high mountain named Pravarshana, upon which Lord Indra showers incessant rain. Giro nili navagyaya nadhigamya padam nripa tadaha girimedhobhi samantad agnimutsrijan. Although he knew they were hiding on the mountain, Jarasandha could find no trace of them. Therefore, O king, he placed firewood on all sides and set the mountain ablaze. Tata utpattatarasa dahyamana tatar ubho dashaika yojanat tungan nipetatur adho bhuvi. The two of them then suddenly jumped from the burning mountain, which was 11 yojanas high, and fell to the ground. Oh, there's a picture of that, right? Krishna and Balaram jumped off a mountain, which was yojanas, 88 miles high, and landed at a distant place beyond the location of Jarasandha's troops. Alakshamano ripuna sanugena yaduttamo swapuram punarayato parikam nripa. Unseen by their opponents or his followers, O king, those two most exalted Yadus returned to their city of Dwarka, which had the ocean as a protective moat. Sopi dagviti mrisha manvano balakeshavo balam akrishya mahan magadhan magadho yayo. Jarasandha, moreover, mistakenly thought that Balaram and Keshav had burned to death in the fire. Thus he withdrew his vast military force and returns to the Magadha kingdom. Anartadhipati Shriman Raivato Raivatim Sutam Brahmana Chodita Pradad Balayeti Paroditam. As ordered by Lord Brahma, Raivata, the opulent ruler of Anartha, gave Lord Balaram his daughter Raivati in marriage. This has already been discussed. Huh. Raivati, not Raivati. Commentary. Before describing Krishna's marriage, brief mention is made of Baladev's marriage to Revati, the daughter of Raivat, or Kokudmi. This marriage has been alluded to in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 9.3, verses 33 to 36. Bhagavan api govinda upaye me kurudvaha vaidarbhim bhishmaka sutam shriyo matram swayamvare pramatya tarasaragya shalvadhingschaitapakshagan Pashyatam sarvalokanam Rakshaputra sudham iva. O hero among the Kurus, the Supreme Lord himself, Govinda, married Bhishmaka's daughter Vaidarbhi, who is a direct expansion of the goddess of fortune. The Lord did this by her desire, and in the process, he beat down Shalva and other kings who took Shishupala's side. Indeed, as everyone watched, Sri Krishna took Rukmini, just as Garuda boldly stole nectar from the demigods. Commentary. Krishna married Rukmini, whose subtle, essential, and original form is Lakshmi, just as sound is the subtle quality of ether. Since Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, the original personality of Godhead, it is only fitting that he married Rukmini, the original goddess of fortune. Shirajovacha Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshasena Vidhanena Upayema Iti Shrutam. King Parikshit said, the Supreme Lord married Rukmini, the beautiful faced daughter of Bhishmaka, in the Rakshasa style. He married her in the Rakshasa style, or so I have heard. Commentary. The Smriti says, Rakshaso Yuddha Haranat. A Rakshasa marriage takes place when the bride is stolen from one rival's suitors by force. Similarly, Shukadev Goswami himself has already said, Ragya Pramatya. Krishna forcefully subdued the opposing kings to kidnap Rukmini. Bhagavan Shrottamichami Krishna Syami Tatejasa Yata Magadha Shalvadin Jitva Kanyam Upaharat. My Lord, I wish to hear how the immeasurably powerful Lord Krishna took away his bride while defeating such kings as Magadha and Shalva. Brahman Krishna Katha Punya Madhvir Loka Malapaha Konu Tripyet Shrinvana Shrutagyo Nityanutana. What experienced listener, O Brahman, could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming, and ever fresh topics of Lord Krishna, which cleanse away the world's contamination. Commentary. Shukadev Goswami said, who could be satiated hearing the sweet topics of Krishna? Shri Badarayanir Uvacha Rajasir Bhishmako Nama Vidarbhadipatir Mahan Tasya Pancha Bhavan Putra Kanyaika Chavaranana. Shri Badarayani said, there was a king named Bhishmaka, the powerful ruler of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons and 1 daughter of lovely countenance. Rukmagrajo, Rukmarato, Rukmabahuranantara, Rukmakesho, Rukmamali, Rukminyesha Swasasati. Rukmi was the firstborn son, followed by Rukmarata, Rukmabahu, Rukmakesha, and Rukmamali. Their sister was the exalted Rukmini. I think that's really cool to have. I like that when all the brothers have the same name. Sopashrutya mukundasya rupavirya gunashriya griha gatar gyamanas tangmene sadrisham patim. Hearing of the beauty, prowess, transcendental character, and opulence of Mukunda from visitors to the palace who sang his praises, Rukmini decided that he would be the perfect husband for her. Hearing of the beauty, transcendental character, and opulence of Mukunda from visitors to the palace who sang his praises, Rukmini decided that he would be the perfect husband for her. Tambuddhi Lakshanodarya Rupa Shila Gunashayam Krishnascha Sadrishim Bharyam Samudvodhum Manodadhe. Lord Krishna knew that Rukmini possessed intelligence, auspicious bodily markings, beauty, proper behavior, and all other good qualities. Concluding that she would be an ideal wife for him, he made up his mind to marry her. Bandhunam ichatam datum Krishnaya bhaginim nripa tato nivarya Krishna dved Rukmi chaityam amanyata. Because Rukmi envied the Lord, O king, he forbade his family members to give his sister to Krishna, although they wanted to. Instead, Rukmi decided to give Rukmini to Shishupala. Commentary. Rukmi disregarded his parents and other relatives who wanted to give his sister Rukmini to Krishna in marriage. He took it upon himself to prevent her from marrying Krishna by giving her to Shishupal instead. Taravetya sitapangi vaidarbhi durmana bhrisham vichintyaptam dvijam kanchit Krishnaya prahino drutam. Dark-eyed Vaidarbhi was aware of this plan, and it deeply upset her. Analyzing the situation, she quickly sent a trustworthy Brahmin to Krishna. Commentary. Rukmini sent a Brahmin to bring Krishna there. Dvarakam sa samabhyeta pratiharai praveshita apashyad adhyam purusham asinam kanchanasane. Upon reaching Dwarka, the Brahman was brought inside by the gatekeepers and saw the primeval personality of Godhead sitting on a golden throne. Commentary. The gatekeepers brought the Brahman inside. He brought them inside the palace. Drishtva Brahmanya Devastvang avaruhya nijasanat upavishyarhayan chakre yatatmanam divokasa. Seeing the Brahman, Sri Krishna, Lord of the Brahmanas, came down from his throne and seated him. Then the Lord worshipped him, just as he himself is worshipped by the demigods. Commentary. Krishna worshipped the Brahmins, just as the demigods worship him. Tam bhuktavantam vishrantam upagamya satam gati paninabhimrishadav avyagrastam aprichata. After the Brahman had eaten and rested, Sri Krishna, the goal of saintly devotees, came forward, and while massaging the Brahman's feet with his own hands, he patiently questioned him as follows. Commentary. Krishna, though he was anxious over the marriage. While massaging the Brahman's feet, Krishna inquired from him, Kachidvijavara Shreshta Dharmaste Vritta Sammata Vartate Natikritrena Santushta Manasa Sada. The Supreme Lord said, O best of exalted Brahmans, are your religious practices sanctioned by senior authorities proceeding without great difficulty? Is your mind always fully satisfied? Santushto yarhi varteta brahmano yena kenachit ahiyamana swadharmat sahyasya kila kamadhuk. When a Brahman is satisfied with whatever comes his way and does not fall away from his religious duties, those very religious principles become his desire cow, fulfilling all his wishes. Commentary. If a Brahman is unwavering in his that dharma yields all desires. Asantushto sakrilokan apnotyapi sureshvara akinchanopi santushta shete sagavijvara. An unsatisfied Brahman wanders restlessly from one planet to another, even if he becomes king of heaven. But a satisfied Brahman, though he may possess nothing, rests peacefully, all his limbs free of distress. Commentary. The unsatisfied Brahman wanders from planet to planet, but never exhausts his thirst for enjoyment, even if he becomes Indra. There is an alternate reading. Even though he becomes Indra, he does not attain the higher worlds. In other words, even though attaining the supreme planets, he suffers as if not having attained them. Vipran labha santushtan sadhun bhuta suhritaman nirahankarina shantan namasye shirasa sakrit. I repeatedly bow my head in respect to those Brahmins who are satisfied with their lot. Saintly, prideless, and peaceful, best well-wishers of all living beings. Commentary. A genuine Brahman is satisfied with whatever he obtains by gathering abandoned grains in the fields. He does not yearn for anything else. Kachidva kushalam Brahman rajato yasya hi praja sukham vasanti vishaye palyamana same priya. O Brahman, is your king attending to your welfare? Indeed, that king in whose country the citizens are happy and protected is very dear to me. Commentary. That king is dear to me in whose country the people live happily. Yatastam agata dur nistiryeha yarichaya sarvam no bruhi aguhyam chetkim karyam karavamate. Whence have you come, crossing the impassable sea, and for what purpose? Explain all this to us. If it is not a secret, and tell us what we may do for you. Evam samprishta samprashno brahmana parameshtina lila grihita dehena tasmai sarvam avarnayat. Tasmai sarvam avarnayat. Thus questioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who incarnates to perform his pastimes, the Brahmana told him everything. Commentary. If you have any questions to ask me, please ask. Saying this, Krishna then questioned the Brahmana. By the actions of his Leela Shakti, Krishna accepts his body as his own. Shri Rukmin Nuvacha Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana. Wait. Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shinvatante Nirvishya Karna Vivarai Tongatapam Rupam Drishimatam Akilartha Labham Tvaya Chuta Vishati Chittamapatrapang Me. Shri Rukmini said in her letter, as read by the Brahman, O beauty of the worlds, having heard of your qualities which enter the ears of those and remove their bodily distress, which enter the ears of those who hear and remove their bodily distress, and having also heard of your beauty, which fulfills all the visual desires of those who see, I have fixed my shameless mind upon you, O Krishna. Commentary. Opening the seal of the letter which Rukmini had given him after writing it in her own hand and in the privacy of her room, the Brahman showed it to Krishna as a token of her love. On Krishna's request, the Brahman read the letter out loud. These are the statements of Sridhar Swami. But how can I accept you, a king's daughter, whom I have never seen or heard about, and who is shamelessly writing a letter to me as her bridegroom, with the intention of having me marry her? If Krishna says this, then Rukmini answers, yes, this is true. You can say that, but I will express the feelings of my heart. After you have heard this, you may accept me or neglect me, favor me or reject me. Nevertheless, depending on whether I obtain you or not, I will either live happily forevermore, or else die this very day or the next. For one in my condition, there is no question of fear or shame. Therefore, I now speak. Then Rukmini expressed herself in 7 verses, 37 to 43. Rukmini said in her letter, O Achyuta, hearing about your beauty and qualities, my mind has lost all shame. I have become completely attached to. Your beauty and qualities are the 2 causes of my mind's becoming shameless, and my 2 ears are also its cause. Therefore, both you and I are at fault. Krishna's beauty and qualities and her 2 ears, both of these are the cause of her shame. They're both at fault. Therefore, you cannot criticize me, and I cannot criticize you. The suggestion of the word Achyuta, infallible Krishna, is, O Achyuta, my mind's becoming shameless has approached you, but you are unmoved. Now I have no idea what you want to do. Imagining Krishna may respond, other men have attractive forms and qualities, so why do you find fault with them? Rukmini said, please do not speak like this. Then she mentions Krishna's unique qualities. Having entered the ears of attentive young women, your wonderful qualities completely destroy all their pains, both subtle and gross. Tell me, what other man exists who has qualities like you? Then Rukmini characterized Krishna's beauty. Form is more sweet and attractive than the best object for people who are observant. There is an assortment of colors, blue like sapphires or blue lotuses, yellow like gold ornaments, and red kumkum like rubies and bantuli flowers, and white like moonstone and the moon. What other man possesses such exquisite beauty in limbs, tongue, lips, nails, and other bodily parts? Therefore, Rukmishna appropriately. O beauty of the worlds, you are the most attractive and handsome person in all the material and spiritual worlds. Katva mukunda mahati kulashila rup. Oh, sorry. Katva mukunda mahati kulashila rupa vidya vayodravina dhama bhiratmatulyam. धीरापतिं कुलवती नवनीतकन्या काले नृसिंह नरलोकमनोभिरामम्. O Mukunda, you are equal only to yourself in lineage, character, beauty, knowledge, youthfulness, wealth, and influence. O lion among men, you delight the minds of all mankind. What aristocratic, sober minded, and marriage able girl of a good family would not choose you as her husband when the proper time has come? Commentary. Granted, I may be the most incomparable man in the universe, but are you the only girl in the whole universe with eyes and ears? I do not see any other maidens with such shamelessness. Rukmini responds to this in this verse. O Mukunda, whose face beams with a smile like jasmine flowers. The word Mukunda implies the idea, you have given me an opportunity to smile too. What intelligent, sober girl, endowed with beauty and good qualities coming from a respectable family, would not choose you as her husband? This implies that only an ugly, ill-natured, and unintelligent woman of bad lineage, who has not heard about you, would not choose you. Those with good qualities accept you, who are incomparable in attributes, beauty, knowledge, youth, wealth, and power. There are many young marriageable women like me who will accept you when their time comes. But now it is my time. O lion among men, Nrsimha, you are you are you are as uncontrollable as a lion. I have no desire to control you. Your incomparable beauty and qualities play in the minds of all human beings. So what fault is there if you also reside in my mind? Tanme bhavan kalu vrita patirangajayam atmarpitascha bhavatotra vibhohi ma vira bhagam abhimarshato chaida arad go mayuvan mrigapater balimam ambujaksha. Therefore, my dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come swiftly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, let Shishupal never touch the hero's portion like a jackal stealing the property of a lion. It's a famous verse. Commentary. Rukmini said, since I am so attracted to you, I therefore have chosen you as my husband. It is not just now, but from the beginning, I have been selected only by you. Both mind and soul have been offered to your lotus feet. I have sent this letter to inform you of my mental state. If you accept me, I will maintain my life, and if you reject me, I will burn myself up. I will not give myself to anyone else, even if Brahma himself comes here and commands me. But, Krishna may object, this offering of yourself to me is not unmotivated like King Bali's offering. Indeed, you have an ulterior motive. Rukmini said, True, my offering of myself to you is not like the surrender of Bali Maharaj, which was nirbhav, without intense love. O Almighty One, please accept me as your wife. Why is it a question? Um, just as when a person gives food to someone else and says, You should eat this, such a natural self offering as be superior to a non motivated offering because it is affected by real love. You should quickly send back the Brahman with a reply so that I know whether you accept me or not. Shishupal should not take the share meant for you. If Shishupal suddenly comes and touches this body, my hope of attaining you will be destroyed, and this body will burn to ashes, separation from you. My fear, however, is that you will lose your prestige. My fear, however, is that you will lose your prestige if Shishupal comes and takes your share, like a jackal stealing from a lion. His impudence towards you will be broadcast everywhere. The address, O Lotus-eyed one, implies, At that time, even though my body is on fire, I will not experience any pain because I will be meditating on your lotus eyes. Purteshta niyama vratadeva vipra kurvarchanadibhiralam bhagavan paresha aradhito yadigadagraja etyapane grinatu me nadamaghosha sutadayonye. If I have sufficiently worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead by pious works, sacrifices, charity, rituals, and vows, and also by worshipping the demigods, brahmanas, and gurus, then may Gadagraja come and take my hands, and not Dhammaghosha's son or anyone else. Commentary. Rukmini said, O most difficult to attain person, you cannot be obtained simply by the good acts of one's birth. Therefore, if I have performed pious acts in previous lives, whether with a desire to attain you or without a desire to attain you, let the results come now in the form of attaining you. This is my only prayer. If I have worshipped the Lord profusely by digging wells, purta, by sacrifices, ishta, by giving charity, dana, by regulations such as bathing in holy places, observing vows like Akadashi, and by worshipping the demigods, gurus, and brahmanas, which are corollaries to the worship of the Lord Himself, then may the Supreme Lord as a human, the elder brother of Gada, come here and accept me in marriage. No one else should come, not even Narayan or any of the demigods or human beings. That the son of Dhammaghosha Shishupal is indicated in Rukmini's writing as the first of these others is because her marriage to him is imminent. Shvobhavini tamajito dvahane vidarbhan gupta sametya pritana patibhi parita nirmatya chaidya magadhendra balam prasahya Mam rakshasena vidhinodvahavirya shulkam. Translation. O unconquerable one, tomorrow when my marriage ceremony is about to begin, you should arrive unseen in Vidarbha and surround yourself with the leaders of your army. Then crush the forces of Chaitya and Magadendra and marry me in the Rakshasa style, winning me with your valor. Commentary. Yes, I accept you of past pious actions. Sorry. Yes, I accept you according to your past pious actions. But what can I do now that you have been given to Shishupal in marriage? In response to this, Rukmini proposes a method in this verse by saying, O Ajita. By saying that, O Ajita, Rukmini implies that no one can possibly defeat Krishna. Rukmini said, "At the upcoming wedding, you should first enter the city unseen, without troops. Once having entered the city, you should surround yourself with your military commanders to show your strength. If you don't do this, then it will be difficult to enter the city quickly, for the troops will accost you outside the city. After entering the city, however, you can say that you've come just to see the splendor of my marriage ceremony, and then the army will have no reason to fight with you. Then you can whisk me away at your leisure. If they suspect an undesirable turn of events and start fighting with you, however, you should show your heroism, just as you received Lakshmi from churning the ocean. Then you should forcefully kidnap me. The reward for your show. Then you should forcefully kidnap me. The reward for your show of strength. Anta Antapurantaracharim anihatya bandhun tam udvahe katamiti pravidamyupayam purve durasti mahati kuladeva yatra yasyam bahir navavidhur girijam upeyat. Since I will be staying within the inner chambers of the palace, you may wonder, how can I carry you away without killing some of your relatives? But I shall tell you a way. On the day before the marriage, there is a grand procession to honor the royal family's deity. And in this procession, the new bride goes outside the city to visit goddess Girija. Commentary. Krishna asks, "Certainly I will destroy the military force of Shishupal and the others. Yet in kidnapping you, who live in the palace's inner sanctum, won't I also have to kill your relatives?" Rukmini cleverly answered in this verse, "There is a temple of Girija, Durga, outside the city. You can easily kidnap me from there without killing my relatives." I know it's overtime. It's 8:34 now, but I'm just two more verses left and then we're finished. Yasyangri pankajaraja snapanam mahanto vanchantyuma patirivatma tamopa pahatyai yarhyam bujakshanalabhyavat prasadam jahyamasun vratakrishan shatajanmabhi syat. O lotus-eyed one, great souls like Lord Shiva hanker to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet and thereby destroy their ignorance. If I cannot obtain your mercy, I shall simply give up my vital force, which will have become weak. Severe penances I will perform. Then, after hundreds of lifetimes of endeavor, I may obtain your mercy. Commentary. Krishna said, "Princess, you may say that, but how can you get my mercy without having performed pious acts in the past to attain me?" To this, Rukmini replies, "In order to attain you in a future life, in this life I will practice celibacy and austerities. If after one lifetime's penances I do not attain you, then I will continue doing penances for even 10 million lifetimes. I can never give up my desire to attain you. And if you tell me that there are many contaminations in me that prevents my attaining you, then let me dispel these with the dust particles of your lotus feet, which are obtainable by performance of austerities. Great devotees like Shiva desire to bathe in the dust of your lotus feet in order to destroy the root of their ignorance. I will also destroy all my contaminations by bathing in the dust of your lotus feet, which I will attain by austerities. If I do not attain your mercy, then I will give up my life by fasting." Krishna, what will you accomplish by that? Rukmini, I will give up my life time after time for hundreds of births until I attain your mercy. By saying, "O lotus eye," Rukmini implies, It is my eagerness to see your beautiful lotus eyes, which is the cause of these difficulties that I am suffering." Brahmana uvacha. Okay, so we're finished now. Ityete guhya sandesha yadudeva maya hrita vimrishya kartum yachchatra kriyatam taranantaram. The Brahman said, "This is the confidential message I have brought with me. O Lord of the Yadus, please consider what must be done in these circumstances and do it at once." Commentary. The Brahman said, "O Lord, I swear that I have not revealed this message to anyone, since that would embarrass Rukmini. It is not necessary to consult with the Yadus, because you are their Lord and the source of their intelligence. After considering the matters, you should immediately do the needful." Thus ends the commentary on the 52nd chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, for the pleasure of the devotees, in accordance with the previous acharyas. So tomorrow we will read chapter 53, Krishna kidnaps Rukmini. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Manjari Didi, I was thinking the same thing. Who is Muchukunda in Gaur Lila? Yeah. Krishna said a pious Brahmin, right? Did he say that? For some reason, I thought I remember reading that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering who that is. Maybe just some unknown person in Mahaprabhu's Leela that's not described anywhere. Hari Vasudevi Didi. Dandavat pranams. Oh yeah, and Rukmini Didi, that is a good question. I do not know the answer to that. That is a very good question. That Krishna says that Krishna accepts his body as his own, like his body and soul are non-different. They are, yeah. Jai Shishi Guru. So yeah, I don't know the answer. I'd like to know the answer if you ever find out though. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai Nittil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nittil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nittil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashata Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shilagorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Shila Satchirananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Shri Rupa Nugogoriya Guru Varga ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dashagunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Bharatta Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunya Mona Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय सारथ-दार्शनिक कमेंटरी की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashachai, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Sattvatai Namo Namaha, Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaye Vacha, Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All right, see you all tomorrow for the kidnapping of Rukmini. All right, Haribol, everybody. Thanks for letting me go 10 minutes overtime today. Let's see, how long is the next chapter? I have it, I'll just see right now. The next chapter is 4,644 words. Today we read 5,394, so we will definitely finish on time tomorrow. All right, Haribol. Haribol, Rukmini Didi, and everybody else. Manjari, Indira Mataji, Seshwari Mataji, Sudevi Didi, everybody. Ganga Mataji, Madhavi Didi, Kagraj ji, Haribol.